Hello, everybody, and it's Sunday, and I'm working here at my local dive bar. You can kind of hear the music in the background. You can hear the people talking. That's what happens, boys and girls, when you go out in public. Yes, I'm making fun of those who stay at home and do nothing but live online. Before I get into today's topic, I wanted to go over something with you guys. Remember how yesterday I showed you how, like, when I'm working, how I got all my stuff set up and laid out? Well, comes in, how do you keep stuff organized going to and from the bar? Okay, so how I do that is, what I do is I've got an art box. Let me take it off here. So we've got our art box here, and this is an old, you can see it's a, used to be a jewelry a box for silverware. I was helping a friend clear out her house, her grandmother's house, and we were just pitching almost everything. And every single time I come across something I kind of like, I'd say something to her and just get the okay, and she'd be like, "Yep, you can have it." So I got this, so I keep everything organized. So here's where the important thing is: I have spots to keep all my nibs and pencils separated. So when I pull stuff out, I pull it out in a certain order. So I'll pull out, like, the pencils are here. I'll pull the pencils out. I'll put them on top of the rag. Then I pull out the two nibs I use. They're similar but different. Set them out. And so that's how I do it. Then I've just got, like, all, like, pencil sharpener. This is a great eraser. Anybody who's working this Vanish, this is a great eraser. In fact, once I'm done using up my vinyl eraser, I'll be using this one only. Then, of course, got my nibs. I'm not my nibs. I got my all my different types of pens, my Copex pens, microns. So, and then just all sorts of things along with business cards and whatnot. Got the holder for my glasses, a tin for small pencils. Got some nibs and eraser bits in here. So just all separate little tools. That way, I pretty much have everything I need when I'm working here at the bar. So I wanted to show you guys that before I really got into the video. So let's get this put back in its holder. Okay, got that mounted. Okay, let's get this brought up. Pull it back some. There we go. Okay. So we're going to start, well, I just started there. We're going to go over here first. So put her on its side. And I'll start here and work my way up. So, hold on. There we go. So I want to talk to you guys today about variant covers. Variant covers specifically in the crowdfunding scene. Okay? We have a lot of people who do variant covers. Now, for full disclaimer, okay, I'm not a big person, or I know this way. I like that people have variant covers. I can see how it boosts a campaign, specifically when they have one of the tiers where you get all the covers for the campaign. But one thing I'm noticing is a lot of these artists use the exact same artists for their variant covers. It's like the same old, same old. When I first came on this, discovered this space, following Graham Nolan with Alien Alamo, everybody, and I mean everybody's campaign, had a Kenneth Rocafort cover. Inglorious Rex, Shane actually got, I think Shane actually got three, because he had Starlight Cats, then Inglorious Rex 1, and then Inglorious Rex 2. So, and then, like, Battle Brick Road had a Kenneth Rocafort cover. The Salamandroid had a variant cover that was a Kenneth Rocafort cover. Who else? John Malin with Graveyard Shift Variants. That was Kenneth Rocafort cover. Along with Ultra Star by PTP. He had a Kenneth Rocafort. So everybody had, and then right after that, Dale Keown came on the scene. And everybody was getting a Dale Keown cover. You get a Dale Keown cover, and you get a Dale Keown cover, and you get a Dale Keown cover. Except for John Mayall at the very end. which of course was a running joke forever, ever. But here's the thing: is that everybody was doing getting the exact same artists to do variant covers. And for me, it's one of those where it's like, okay, who's next on the docket to do variant covers for everybody? Shelby Robertson? Is Shelby going to be going? Is he the next person to do variant covers for everybody? And it's one of those where it's like, ugh. Now, I mean, I will admit, like Aaron Lepresti, he lucked out with a Dale Keown cover, then a Simon Bisley cover for the next campaign. I can't remember the person but then like for Kit Carter and this current Wraith of God, it's the exact same artist again for both campaigns. And I know it's because Aaron really likes his stuff. I understand that. But again, it's one of those where it's like, we got the same cover again. It's the same artist doing different covers. Well, I'd almost like want to see them just do their own book instead of doing. I want to see them just not only do the cover, but see them do the book interior too. Um, it's getting repetitive to me, and I'm just getting tired of it. But at the same time, also, I do kind of see the appeal to having various covers. I do see that. Okay, I've seen how it's really helped artists, specifically when closeouts. They'll have like I know Shane does it a lot. He'll have a variant cover for the first 24 hours, and then he'll have that variant campaign cover for the next 12 hours. It's available, and the next 12 hours, 3 weeks later, it's available, and then ultimately close out. Okay, the 24-hour cover is available for the last 24 hours of this campaign before it closes out. I mean, I can see that as appeal as a driver to get additional backers, but overall, it gets to the point where it's like, oh, it's the same like I said, first it's Kenneth Roquefort. Oh wow, then it's Dale Keown. Oh wow, and then by the time we're getting those books, we've kind of burned out on that artist. And I'm looking and going, there are so many artists out there. And I'm like specifically like a lot of these artists that go on the con scene and go do a lot of cons. Like I think like Andy Smith, Billy Tucci. Now I will get to Billy Tucci though, but like Billy Tucci, Vaughn Coleman, a lot of these guys they all do a lot of different shows, and it's one of those where it's like use the opportunity more to please network more. I mean I would love to see more different. And for the smaller creators, don't look at it as, oh, well, there's no way in hell I'll be able to afford a Josh Middleton cover. Well, walk down Artist Alley. Look at all these unknown artists that produce great work. Because remember, we may not know them, we may not know their name, but we can identify good artwork, and we'll back really good artwork. So I kind of look at where it's like some of these artists where it's like, well, there's no way in hell, or creators were like, well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, Vaughn. I understand what you're saying, but I can't afford that person. Well, I mean, and again, this is kind of where networking is. So if you're doing the same shows, because that's the one thing I'm noticing. Like I live in the Pennsylvania area, and there's certain artists like Gus Monk. He's almost at every single show in my local area. Darren Auk, he does almost every single show in the Central PA, like Jersey. He's even I see him down in Hagerstown, Maryland. But he goes to a lot of different shows. If you see him enough time at enough shows, you develop a relationship with them that maybe you can get a cover from them. So and here's the thing is I know this is not going to be a short video. It might, when I wrote my notes, because I wrote so many notes, yeah, I thought, oh, this is gonna be a long video. I kind of knew right off the bat when I started to talk. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a 5 minute video. So, okay. So now, like I said, the the exception would be Billy Tucci, and I say that because Billy Tucci is Billy Tucci, and part of it also has to do with the fact that Billy's been doing the con circuit for a long period of time. He knows damn near everybody, not just big names, but small names from so many years where he was doing small shows. Uh, Fortunately, with crowdfunding, he doesn't have to anymore. He doesn't have to live off the campaign circuit. But from his time working on the campaign circuit, he knows a lot of different creators, not just mainstream artists. But at the same time, also, it's like because he's been in the industry so long, he's able to get Stan Sakai and uh, Rob Liefeld to do covers for him, along the lines of he looks at it and like he gets Rini to do covers for him, and he has nothing but praise for these guys. And I look at one of those deals where it's like, I mean, if okay, let's say Billy wants to do a new campaign, and he wants a lot of unknowns because he wants to do almost like a bootleg. He wants the book to look bootleg like. Okay, he could probably call up or notify through social media 10 different semi-unknown artists to us, but he talks to them on a regular basis and be like, "Hey, I need you to do. Can you do a cover or a pin-up for me? Because I'm going to do this bootleg, and I wanted to have that bootleg feel to it with with all like black and white artwork, and I wanted to have an indie, real like old school indie feel." And these artists are doing that. He can do that. Why? Because he's made all the contacts. So it's where I look at her, it was like the person I'm thinking about the most as I was thinking of this video and as I'm talking to you guys, I think about Vaughn Coleman, and he's got an active campaign. Remember, guys, it's on Kickstarter. His goal is $8,000, and he's at like 6,000 and some right now. So he could use some. He could use some love, guys. Give the little boy some love. So I'm gonna have it in the description. Share it out, okay? Share out his campaign because he's doing that. He's making those contacts by doing all the cons and by doing the con circuit. That I can see him with his. Okay, he's doing book 3 right now. Okay, he's got enough established with what the characters look like, what the feel is. Okay, I can see him from doing the con circuit with his next campaign getting a Jim Ballant cover and getting a Keith Williams cover, a Koi Pham cover. I mean, these are all artists I know he sees on a semi-regular basis at these cons, and these are mainstream artists. So I can see Vaughn Coleman doing that. I'd love to see that. And the reason why I'd love for Vaughn to be able to have that type of success is for this. He's not going to the exact same. He's not having Buzz do a variant cover for every single one of his campaigns. Okay, he's like, this campaign is going to have 2 variant covers, one by Jim Ballant and the other one by Eric Ninakowski. He's the guy who's doing Shadow Sentry. And this is actually, it was Eric with him last weekend posting and talking about how he was told he was the winner for the Youngblood, and then he reached out and Rob was like, nope, you didn't win. When he has the receipt showing he did win. And that's where I kind of look at where it's like how Eric does some phenomenal work. Okay, he does phenomenal work, and if I wanted to do a cover that was completely badass and had that 90s feel, he's absolutely the character. He's absolutely the artist I'd want. And he'd be, you're not going to get a Jim Lee cover. Okay, we all know how much it costs for Jim Lee, just a pinup page. That's using established characters, not using your own characters. But if you can't get a Jim Lee artist, if you can't get Jim Lee, get a Jim Lee artist, or an artist that has followed and apes Jim Lee. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with Eric and how he has a style that mimics Jim Lee. Why? Because Jim Lee had a whole field, had a whole crew of employed artists that mimicked his style when he did Wildstorm Studios. Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, he did the same thing. Silvestri, the same thing. You take a look at like early David Finch work, and it looks like it has that feel, and it may not have looked like uh, Silvestri's artwork, but it had that feel and energy. And and if you're going for that type of a feel in your book or cover, you're gonna have people that are going to respond to it. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, well, again, I'm using Vaughn Coleman. Now, I'm not telling Vaughn, this is what you need to do. I'm just using him as the example. Okay, I'm using him as the example, but he's doing the con circuit and he's promoting his own book. Okay, if he sees that a lot of the fans at these cons uh, grew up and are fans of the '90s stuff, if he can get an artist like Eric who can give him a '90s feel to the book with the cover, he might have a whole bunch of people that normally would walk by, not and just like glance. If he's got that book which has it looks like Jim Lee did the cover, he's going to have a lot more people stopping by. But oh wow, that looks just like Jim Lee, and that gives him the in he needs. It's like, yeah, it's a guy by the name of Eric Nagwitz, Eric Nanotowski. Sorry, I know I'm probably butchering the name. Eric Nanotowski. And yeah, he does a great job of doing Jim Lee's style, and it gives him the chance. Like, if you like Jim Lee comics, then check this out. This is my book, Phenomenova. This is the team. Look at this, and this is this. I'm drawing blanks with all the characters' names, but like, check this out, and it gives him the chance to get people to stop, look at his book, and gives him a good chance to sell some books. Because remember, if he can get those those '90s fans to buy that book because it has a Jim Lee style cover along with a story that's heavily reminiscent of Chris Claremont's X-Men, that's a win. Now here's the other thing also with that. Okay, the last thing is that one thing I am noticing a lot of these creators. One thing that they're not doing, which I kind of wish they would start doing, is in the back of the book. Okay, so you flip to the back of the book. Okay, in the back of the book, have a nice big splash page with, let's say, like again, Von Coleman, and he wants to promote the fourth book. You can have in the back of it have images of the first issues falling down, maybe down the left-hand side, so it looks like they're falling, and then the big image. So that way, the person, when they bought issue 1, they get to the back, and on the back, it has listed his website to buy the second and third issue. It has a blurb of how the fourth campaign is now being launched, or whatever, something, so that way he's got them to buy the book. Okay, he got them to buy issue 1. You want to have at the very back of the book remind them, hey, issue 2 and issue 3 is available through my website, or any of my Phenomenova books are available through the website. Prints are available through the website. The next campaign is available on Indiegogo or Fund My Comics. And here's the thing: I would say definitely use Fund My Comic. I have nothing against Kickstarter. Well, my opinions about not backing for Kickstarter are my personal opinions, not negative towards anybody. I mean, you go get that money, son. But here's the thing: is Kickstarter, the way I understand it, and I think they may have changed, but I don't do it. Is they have it used to be only like 30 days and then it closes completely. Whereas Fund My Comic, you can do your campaign, you can have it on in-demand mode, and then afterwards, you can have it as a storefront. And so by having it, let's say, and again, I'm just using him as the example, okay? And he goes, hey, like, yeah, I got the store, and I like storefront, Fund My Comic, okay? Uh, that way, or I always will have a campaign up at any time at Fund My Comic. That way, he doesn't have to worry about selling that book 3 years later. They can go to Fund My Comic, look him up, look up his projects, and they can see it doesn't have to be for the current 4th issue campaign. Maybe it's for the 8th or 9th campaign. But he has that listed there on the back of the book. And I don't see not a lot of people use the back. They use every single page for just telling the story. And there's nothing being done to try to push the push their future campaigns or push for repeat business, if you will. And I wish more creators were to do that. So, but that's my opinion. I and I've been saying, I know when I was on with Danger Vanessa with her channel, I did mention that a few times. I mentioned some things, maybe not completely like this, but similar. Uh, so, and I just and I will have Von Coleman's campaign, and I will have John's Longbox campaign. I'll have both those campaigns listed in the description. You know what? I'll also include Andy Smith and Graham Nolan's campaigns in it. Now, you know what? I'll even include Aaron because I talked about Aaron. So I'll have like those 5 campaigns listed in the description. So, but and don't be silent, guys. Give me your opinion about variant covers and doing variant covers. Am I completely off my rockers? You're not taking this into consideration, Vaughn, and you're not taking this into consideration. Hey, I'm speaking my mind, and and here's the thing: if I had been on last weekend or Don Draws, okay, I would have brought these points up, not in full detail like I am today, but I would have brought them up. So, but tell me what you guys think. And remember, it's the end of the video. I should have said something in the beginning of the video, or the end of or the middle of the video, but I didn't. Give me a like, guys. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Share it out. Share it out. You know what? Here's the thing. I know I get a lot of. There's certain people that always like uh, Marcus Kilgore. Uh, oh, I can't think of his name. He's got the Abominable Snowman as his icon. And Duck Bacon, Astro Zombie. Don't just share it out. Do me a favor. Share it out with your opinion of this video. So let's say you, Marcus, it's you, and you completely disagree with what I'm saying. Uh, quote it when you share it out, so that way I can. That way, when someone sees the video that you shared out, they can see, oh, well, this is Marcus' opinion. Let me see what Vaughn's opinion is for Marcus to do that. So, you guys all have a great day. You know I'm having a great day. Um, um, I'm not going to, again, I'll wait until the next video to work on this, but you can see how this has got that feel. And remember how, like, the big thing was this is not a nice home. The boards are not properly, there's knots in it with holes. So the winter air is getting in. So that's the reason why all the kids are cuddled all together. So, and then you can see where I just started today. I'm not going to work on this off camera. Like next time you see me next weekend, I will be working here, and I will be working here, and then we'll get down to here. I've been working on this one off page, but you can see where I'm really going in, getting a lot of work done. And remember, this is the page 1 of the printer's devil, or the devil's printer, which will be a future campaign on John's long box with his heroic tales. So, working hard on it. I've been having a lot of fun. And remember, when I get done with this page, I will be showing you guys, I will be working, when I'm doing my videos, I will be working on the trading cards. Because he approved them. He approved the pencils, so I can move on to the next stage. So, until then, guys, remember, life is stressful, but just take it all one dot at a time.